For those of you who have been teaching children, our special children, you have been putting in a lot more effort as compared to other teachers. And we acknowledge that, and I pay my tribute to teachers from each and every special school. It's your contribution that is making the world much better, not only for the parents but for the children. You also know that the government has invested or has been investing large sum of money towards the education sector. And the sum of money is around $700 million. And it's not a small amount. Out of $700 million, $330 million is towards teachers' salary. $62 million is towards free education grant. And I've not included tuition, free bus fare, textbooks, etc. So you can imagine what the government did. The government has taken away the burden, that is the financial burden, from our parents and from school management committee and the community members. Because community members had to work harder. One, they had to pay school fees for the children, but because the child was going to a particular school, they also had to contribute to fundraising. So gone are the days. What are we expecting from the school system? What we are expecting from the school system is simply the products that come out of the school system, which is our children, again. Can our children be a good citizen? Right? And we do expect them to be a good citizen because they've gone through the school system. And we also want our children to improve their quality of life. Coming to special schools, it's a simple outcome that we all look forward to. And the outcome is that the child should be able to manage his or her life, is able to manage basic things that a normal person can do. That's all we expect from special schools, so that they can assimilate with the normal schools and they're accepted in our community and loved by each and every one. Coming back to the head of school when he was speaking, I noted the development of this school, but I also noted the contribution the development partners have made to this institution and to other special schools around the country. But what really did catch my attention was the private sector willing to take a child and offer a full-time job, which is very much appreciated. This is what we want. While we are moving on with inclusive schools where we are asking our special children to join normal schools, similarly we want our special children to join workforce and working with normal people. And they can do it, and they're doing it. Because disabilities can be ranged, or it can be classified based on what a child can do or cannot do. So we should not be discriminatory towards our special children. And Fiji government, we had signed the United Nations Convention on Persons with Disabilities, and this was done in the year 2010. But we ratified the convention in 2017, and by 2018, the legislation was introduced that looked after people with disabilities. And for the first time, the constitution, Fijian constitution, that is our 2013 constitution, recognizes people with special needs. And it is very, very clearly stated that we will not discriminate children with special needs. It is their right to be treated equally like any other citizen. And from the school perspective, around $750,000 we have been allocating for special schools, whether it's in the form of child allowance or FAG or any other requirements that are made by special schools. But again, it is this government that introduced disability allowance, and disability allowance are now paid to people with disabilities. And if you are wondering how many people would there be in our community that they have some form of disability, and my answer to that would be more than 130,000 people. NCDs are not, when we talk about non-communicable diseases, is not helping us at all in terms of reducing our statistics. In fact, it is adding on more numbers to our statistics. You have heard, that due to NCD, people are losing their limbs. Right? And that is adding on to physical disability. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would like to thank the teachers for the wonderful work that you have been doing when the school was closed. You've been working around the clock, caring for the children and preparing the worksheets. There have been even some schools, they have been conducting classes through Zoom. They've been conducting classes through Moodle. But there were so many ways through which the teachers engaged with the children. But all this, opening of school would not have been possible if you and I did not get vaccinated. So the credit goes to all Fijians in this country who put their hand up and they got themselves vaccinated. Because the vaccination rate is so high in the country, yesterday's statistics, first dose was over 99%, and second dose was around 93.2%. Now these are very positive numbers. And I've also noted that the number of active cases in our community has gone down. It is reducing, which indicates that we are much safer than what we were in the month of December and January. We made the announcement for the reopening of schools, and we had given the choice to the parents whether they want to send their children or not. We simply said, look, we're opening the school. If you want to send your child to school, the school is open. They can go to school anytime they want. But we also considered the parents' concern for the children, and they were worried that the child is not vaccinated, and if they go to school, they might end up with COVID. But the research shows that the immune system of our children is much better. They will not catch COVID, unlike the adults. And if that was not the case, then the World Health Organization would have made the announcement that our children will get the vaccine first. But they did not say that. They said 60 and above, you'll get the vaccine first. And then they started looking at the age group, and finally we came down to 12 and above, and now we are thinking of, Dr. Fong has made the announcement that they are considering pediatric doses for 5 and above. But it seems that vaccination is the solution to our problem, and we can experience it through our statistics and numbers. And I'm extremely glad that through vaccination we were able to open our economy, we were able to allow tourists to come to our shores, shops to be opened, weddings to be held, functions can be held as well. And we are now slowly coming back to normalcy. And our normalcy, this is what we call the new normal. New normal simply means that we'll continue wearing the mask, as you all can see. Right, so as much as we say, hey, we are now back to normal time, but our normal time includes mask. And I hope one day we'll be able to get rid of this. But you already know that years 1 and 2, they can be around, they can move freely without a mask. Mask is not mandatory for year 1 and year 2 students, as well as for children with disability, based on the extent, or you can say severity of disability. So that judgment or that decision can be made by the teachers. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I thank you all. Thank you for your warm welcome, and it's a pleasure to be in this school, and it's a pleasure to meet the students who are seated before me. And definitely I want to meet these students. Vinaka.